What's up, YouTube? I'm back with a testimony esque video today. Today, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about how my car accident completely changed my life and how, at your lowest, there's you notice a lot, you see a lot, you realize a lot, and there's a lot of improvements that you can make in your life. So on May the 8th of last year, I had gotten into a near fatal car crash. I had hit a tree um, going at some very fast speeds, and I might include some footage, some images in this so that you can see or not. It just depends. But from this accident, I could not walk. I had traumatic injuries to my knees, both my knees. I had to get stitches. I had a complex fracture on my elbow. My elbow was shattered. Um, and it was the hand I'm using right now for the mic. It was my left elbow that got shattered, and I'm left handed. So that rendered me pretty much not really being able to walk and not really being able to use my dominant hand for a substantial amount of time. Um, when I was in the hospital, though, they told me I couldn't leave until I could at least walk down the hall. So, very slowly, when I had some time in the hospital by myself, I would like try to get up and like take some baby steps. But when the time came, because I really just wanted to go home, I was able to make it down the hall. I was taking some very baby steps, like, but I think they knew I just let me go home. So they let me go home, and it was kind of rough being at home. I couldn't bathe myself, couldn't brush my own teeth. I had difficulty eating. I pretty much was useless. I went from being, you don't really notice how much you do or how much freedom as far as body movement that you have to do even the most simple things until you've been faced with an issue or with a problem that has completely just rendered you weakless. And so uh, I ended up having to get surgery. I got a plate and 11 screws drilled into my elbow. It's still there. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna get this surgery, I'm gonna heal from it, I'm gonna be fine. I'm thinking like, okay, I don't have to wear a cast because it was such a bad surgery that uh it wasn't a surgery where I could just wear a cast for a certain amount of time and then be good. Like, no, I had to get surgery. So I'm thinking like, oh, I just once that heals, I'll be fine. Like I kind of skipped having to wear a cast, trying to talk myself up with the idea of having metal in my body. But the healing process of getting metal implants is actually worse and a lot more intensive than ever getting a cast. So, to this day, it is currently April 4th. I'm almost a whole year into my accident. I still do not have the most strength in my left hand. It still at times does cause me a little bit of problems. So I will say the healing process of this was just not, necessarily what you could expect it to be. Uh, but I felt like I was at my lowest. I was already going through a lot before this accident. So much stuff had happened to me in 2024 leading up to this accident to where in my head it was like it couldn't get any worse than this. And I really felt like I hit rock bottom, especially like, I was surrounded by a lot of love and support initially when the accident happened. But eventually everybody goes back to work, everybody goes back to their lives, and it's just you with yourself, kind of just in your house alone with nothing to do but really reflect on your life and everything. And I just kind of started reflecting on my life, and I just realized, like, in that moment, I was like, wow, I'm like in a really low point. Like, I thought I was low, but now my health has been at risk, and now I'm not healthy anymore. I can't really move and do things how I want to, and it put things in perspective that a health is wealth, That is the number one thing. You cannot enjoy the fruits of your labors. You cannot enjoy anything that you work towards. You cannot even enjoy the simple things of life if you can't do some of the most basic things to enjoy it. Like if you're unhealthy, if you're battling something, and these are things you can't walk away from, you can't escape, you can't ignore because it's with you forever. So it taught me health is wealth. But in the midst of all this, I remember something my brother had told me a little bit before this all had happened. He had said, when you hit rock bottom, keep digging because that's where you're going to find gold. And that really stuck with me. And to this day, it still sticks with me because it was one of the driving forces of what led me to really self reflect. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm at rock bottom. I'm in a really low point, but I really sat with myself and I was like, what can I learn from this? What are the things that how can I truly grow from this? How can I elevate from this? Uh, Being honest with myself, acknowledging the areas of my life where I effed up and I could have did better, acknowledging, the time that I wasted on things that I shouldn't be doing and just really just being honest with yourself. That was really the first step for me was just, telling myself things that I didn't want to hear, but I needed to in order to grow, in order to expand, in order to eventually, get better at life. That was something that I definitely needed to acknowledge within myself. Um, and then after that, something else that sucked was like, okay, I know where I effed up. I can acknowledge my faults, this, that, and the third. It sucks because I'm in a worse position than what I was before, all of this happened. So it's just like, I can't just hop up and try to jump back into action and do stuff. You know what I mean? And that's when another saying, and this is from the book, The Four Agreements, it says, always do your best or always try your best. And it highlighted in that part of the book that your best is going to change in different points of your life. So what your best is when you're 10 isn't going to be your best at 15, 20. What your best is when you're healthy isn't going to be your best when you're unhealthy, but always do your best. And that really helped me out because, sometimes you get so hooked on to where you used to be or trying to get back to where you used to be, but you know what I mean? In that moment, clearly I couldn't move and do the things that I was doing or move and carry myself in the ways that I wanted to carry myself in. So my best changed. But that really stuck with me. Just aiming to always do my best. And as a result of that, I just made goals for myself of what I could do now. And I made sure to strive towards those goals as much as possible. Um, I made sure to continue to always show up for myself and to always, just do the things I need to do when I need to do it. And I really locked in with my goals, just with my career goals, health goals, weight goals. I was like, this is the time for me to change things around in my life. I told myself in 6 months from now, if you keep at it, you'll be a changed person. In a year from now, you'll be a completely different person. And I'm almost crossing that year mark. And I can truly say that the person that I was, how I moved, and how I carried myself before this accident, I can truly say that I am a changed person. I'm a completely different person now because I decided to allow this accident to be a stepping stone to do better in life and to prove to myself that I can do better, that I'm going to stop, making mistakes. And there are a lot of things that happened to me that I couldn't control, but just to prove to myself that I'm as strong as I think I am and to prove to myself that I can overcome anything. And fast forward a year, not only am I a completely different person, but I'm better than who I was before the accident. I am better than who I was before that accident. So it no longer became a get back to where you used to be. No, I'm better than what I used to be. I'm in a better position than what I used to be. I locked in so many different aspects of my life. I did the shadow work. I reflected a lot. I really prioritized getting better in my life. I cut off people who were just not good for my life, and there's no better feeling than being proud of yourself. Um and I can truly say, I can pat myself on the back and truly say that I am beyond proud of myself. Um yeah, I'm beyond proud of myself for where I'm at now. Like I said, that situation, it kind of stopped my life. It stopped my world, and it put me in a position where I had nothing to do but to sit and think. But that was exactly what I needed to do in that moment. I was down, going down mentally, just dealing with a lot because so much stuff had happened to me, and I was just mentally down a dark path and mentally in like a dark place, and kind of just trying to tune it all out and distract myself. Because but this situation forced me to really just sit in my tracks and reflect, because I couldn't run away anymore. I could not run away anymore. And it was it was a blessing in disguise. Although, yes, that whole recovery process, going through intense physical therapy, learning how to walk regularly again, learning how to run again, like all that was not fun. I couldn't even lift a pencil. Uh Thankfully, my brother bought me a car after my accident, like a week after my accident. He bought me a car, and it really also showed me who was there for me. That accident showed me who was truly, truly there for me and who really did care about me. But yeah, he blissfully bought me a car. I couldn't even sign the papers. You know what I mean? So it was rough, but yeah, it showed me who I was. It made me sit down and realize who I was. It made me realize the art of trying your best no matter where you're at in life, and kind of just existing in the moment. It made me it showed me I can overcome anything. It showed me I'm stronger than what I thought I was. It showed me who was really there for me. It showed me that when I put my mind to something, I can truly accomplish it. And as the weather is blooming and all the trees are blossoming, I am blossoming with it. And I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor and starting to see the effects of my effort. Um, I stayed locked in even when I didn't know what the next chapter was going to be for myself. I just stayed true to myself, and I'm so thankful for it. So if you're going through something and your world might have stopped, use that as an opportunity to reflect, and use it as an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can overcome anything, because any obstacle you get over makes you stronger. Okay, what does not kill you makes you stronger. Any obstacle is an opportunity to get stronger and to get wiser in this world we live in. Okay, we live in a crazy jungle, man. The real world is a crazy, crazy jungle. But the more things you deal with, the more obstacles you deal with, the stronger you get, the more you know how to maneuver this world, the more rewarding the blessings become at the end of the day. So, for anybody that's going through something or been through a tough situation, make it a goal to prove it to yourself that you can get through it. Make it a goal that you're not going to let life tear you down. You're not going to let these circumstantial things wear you out. You're going to let it be, you're not going to let tools, not wrecking balls. All right. You're going to allow the things you go through in life to be tools to build your life up, not wrecking balls to tear it down. So just stick through it, you guys. I'm telling you, I thought I was at my lowest. I thought the world around me was crumbling about a year ago from now. Fast forward a year, and I'm in the best position that I've ever been in life. So, and that comes from hard work, discipline, hard decisions, but right ones, power of choice, choosing to be happy, choosing to do the right things. And yeah, I encourage everyone to really just keep their head up high. And there's no mountain too high that you can't climb, and there's no obstacle too difficult that you can't cross over. All right. Every day that God wakes you up and opens your eyes, that's him telling you that he believes this is something that you can overcome, this is something that you can go through. And make it a habit, make it a passion to want to see the best versions of yourself and want to accomplish everything that your heart desires. All right, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. uh, I will see you guys on the flip side. Adios.